Hi, I'm John Lasseter, writer, director, and animator of Knick Knack.
I'm Eben Ostby. I was the technical director on Knick Knack.
Knick Knack was made in 1989. Now, Pixar back then, there were only 8 people at the company doing animation. We had just finished Tin Toy, which was the biggest production we'd ever done.
This was a really collaborative show. Of the half dozen or so people who were working on it, everybody was able to design and build their own character, and they also animated it. If you notice, all the other Knick Knacks were from sunny locations, like sunny Florida, sunny Jamaica, sunny Israel, sunny Palm Springs. That's a palm tree on a spring.
The inspiration for the idea came from my wife, Nancy. She had this collection of snow domes, and everywhere we went, we had to buy a snow dome for her collection. So it was something I was very familiar with. And I always loved them because it's like this little world inside there. And we always thought about what would it be like to be stuck inside here and you couldn't get out of it. And that's where the idea came from. And it's also great to have a cartoon character who is constantly frustrated, kind of like in Chuck Jones cartoons with like the Roadrunner. You know, the coyote trying to get the Roadrunner. And so that's what we wanted, the notion of this little guy who's trying to get out of his snowy world to be with all the warm weather knickknacks.
Each of the scenes in this film was named after a little gag that was in it.
That's right.
And so it's really made up of a whole bunch of gags that
That's right.
stitched together.
Boy, a long time ago, we had so few shots that we can actually name them instead of number them, and the computer could keep track of them. Gary Rydstrom of Skywalker Sound did the sound design. He's amazing. We had worked with him on all of our short films, and I'll never forget the one sound effect that just made me laugh the first time I heard it is Nick, as we called him, the little snowman, does the welding thing and then flies off stage. There's this long pause, and then there's this huge crash that goes, and it's like much later than you would expect, and it just caught me off guard and was so funny. And then the incredible sound is when he finally does explode, expecting that the whole snow dome is going to come apart, but instead it just makes it this violent swirl, and you cut inside and it's going all around you. In creating the story of this, I had started storyboarding this out and doing the drawings for it. We were such a small group. I remember Eben and I shared an office at the time, so we'd bring everybody into the office, remember, when we were having like little story meetings.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. It was a lot of fun because everyone was there and everyone could work on the story and pitch ideas. I remember Deidre Warren, our secretary at the time, came to those meetings.
And she's the one that came up with the ending of having it when he lands in the fish tank to look over and actually see a little mermaid Knick Knack.
We all laughed and we knew we had our ending.
As we were making Knick Knack, Bobby McFerrin had the big hit, Don't Worry, Be Happy. So one of the funny things is at the very end, we did not have placeholders for the end credits. And so we had just typed out blah, blah, blah. So when the blahs came up, he started singing blah. And it was so funny to us. That's why we left it in there. And a lot of people don't realize that is Bobby McFerrin saying the blahs.
Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah.
After 14 years, it's still a fun film.
Blah, blah, blah.